Hello everyone, welcome back to a new session, and this time we are going to talk about filter, advanced filter, the various tips and tricks, and what you must be careful while working with filter. Now I'll be working with the data set which is in front of me, and that talks about the list of potential clients, all client names, all belonging to India, and they are located in several cities. So as you can see, Kolkata, Gurgaon, Mumbai, and in those cities their offices are situated in the various commercial buildings. So Park Plaza, that's the name of the building, Shantiniketan, that's another name, APJ House, and so on. And also I have the estimate of their marketing campaign budget. So all in all, a proper data column wise, based on which we will be performing several analytical review. To begin with, let me introduce the concept of filter, the filter tab which is there under data tab. Now I would want to analyze this data from the point of view of the first question as given, the one that is blinking. I want to access those names which contain mills, something like this. So how do I apply filter? Now I've seen some professionals, they simply choose the header and directly go to data tab and activate filter by clicking on this funnel shape button. Now this is dangerous. Why? Let's say you may have had one blank row and you would have chosen just the header and activated filter. Now this filter button, which you may have seen by now, will not access those data which fall beyond this blank row. For example, if I get inside this filter button, you will notice I get only two names, Park Plaza and Shantiniketan, not APJ House, not Siddha Point. So that's the reason. Let me press Ctrl Z. Let me be careful. Before applying filter, I must choose the entire data set. So let me choose the headers, and using the shortcut key Shift Ctrl down, let me go to data. After choosing the entire data set which I have using the shortcut key, let me access the filter. Now clicking on filter button will activate these buttons. Okay, now my motive is to go to those client names whose name may include mills. So obviously I will access this filter button, that of client name, and clearly choosing the names from this scroll button is not going to be of much help. Why? Because there could be hundreds of such names. So let me access something which is very unique. In 2007 version of Excel, they have grouped together several criteria parameters, as you can see. So I can filter the list client name based on criteria, let's say equal to certain name, begins with certain name, or may contain certain parameter, let's say mills, private limited, or any such terms. So let me access contains. It shows me please show rows where client name contains what? Mills. So it is not case sensitive. I can simply choose mills or write mills. Okay. And that is what I get, two names with their names containing mills. Quite easy. Now this is not the challenge, this is not the tricky part. The tricky part is when I ask you to give me the total of these two numbers in the cell which is blinking. Now you may say, what kind of a question is that? That's very simple. I can write a sum formula and choose my data, close the brackets and enter. Oops, I should have got close to $100,000, but I'm getting somewhere close to $26.5 million. Clearly that's not the correct answer. Why is it happening? Now the formula such as sum or average or max or min takes the entire data set into calculation, even the ones which are not part of your filtered list. So let's say if I were typing in a formula average and choosing the data as we normally do, after I press enter, you will notice it's not the correct average that is being thrown up. For example, 54,000, 53,000, that should have been the correct average, but what I'm getting is the average of the data which is underlying this data set, the ones which are not part of this list as well. So what is the solution? The solution is a formula called SUBTOTAL. Let's see how to use that formula. all you need to do is select the cell beneath the data and press Alt equal to together. You will get something called subtotal. Let me press enter and see the result first before we discuss the details. 108,500, and that is the correct answer, adding both. Now how is this subtotal working, and how do we get average if I do not want the sum instead? Let's see. In the first case, the subtotal has two components. One, the function num, which is right now represented by 9, and the other part is a reference, some kind of a reference. Now first things first, what is this 9? For a moment, let me delete that 9. Automatically I get a drop down list. Now what this tells me is, for each calculation, for example 9, I must choose sum, that again is represented by 9. If I delete that or backspace that, I get the same list once again. Now if I wanted the calculation for average of these two clients' marketing campaign budget, 1, press enter. So that is close to the average. If I wanted min, let me select 1 and backspace that, min, enter. So the point is, the same formula may allow you to do multiple calculation as these: sum, max, min, average, sum. Instead, I can just change the number. Now if I want sum, I can put in 9. Now I don't need to mug this up 9, 5, 4, 3, 2. The moment I delete this list will definitely come up in 2007 version of Excel, and all you have to do is simply choose from the list given. So as of now I'm choosing 9, so that's the sum. Alright, now what is so special about this second selection? It is saying from 12th row to 266th row. Okay, what is 12th row? 11th is the header in which your data headings are given. 12th is the starting point of your data. So obviously it is not being shown right now because that may not contain the word mills. So 12th has also been chosen. Additionally, even though you're not able to look at 266th row, which is the last data's row, it's still being chosen. Now why would Excel do that? Let's say as of now you wanted mills, the rows containing mills. Now tomorrow you may change the question and say I want the names which may contain India. So you may go inside filter, text filter, contains, and you may change the word India. Quite certainly it will throw the results which may contain India, 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 and so on. Now let me go to the bottom of the data and let me see the total. Quite clearly this is very high from the last answer. Let me double click. So as we know, 9 stands for sum, and you notice this, that the range selected is the same as last time. We did not change anything in the formula. Now why would it help us? 12th till 266. Now since your data list has gone a bit bigger, it may include certain rows which were not part of the earlier filtered list. So it is still starting from the 12th row and stretching up to 266. That means it is taking the entire data block into consideration for calculation. Now to make it more clear, let me go back one step. That is our step of the data which showed mills only. So I press Ctrl Z. Now let's say you had written this formula by hand. Let's say subtotal 9, comma, and you would have definitely chosen these two numbers. Clearly, as you can see, it is just choosing from 13 to 256. Closing the brackets, enter. Alright, as of now you're getting the same answer, but let me revert to my second question, which was talking about text filter. That means all the client names containing India. India. Okay. Now let me scroll down. Let me look at this answer, which is very different from the one that we got earlier. Let me double click. Now you notice, since you had manually chosen the starting and the ending point of the rows, clearly this is not exhaustive. As you can see, two numbers have been missed across. Let me check, is it the same at the beginning? Now you're safe right here, because 11 to 12 to 16 there is no data as part of the filter. But again, your answer is incorrect. As you can see, it is not including these two numbers. So idea is, you do not write subtotal by hand, you use alt equal to, the shortcut key. Let me delete this formula first and let me use alt equal to and then press enter. Now as you can see, 12th has been chosen, and along with that 266 also has been chosen. So subtotal, once we saw that it can take the form of several calculations, and quite importantly, you may use the shortcut key alt equal to. That takes care of the range selection as well. Okay, so let me do one thing. Let me delete this total. Let me clear the filter so that we are back to square one. I can click on this clear button. After choosing any cell, I can click on the clear button. So we are back to normal data set, the entire exhaustive end to end. So that was the basic part, client name containing mills. Now let me talk about dual filters. Dual filters, what are they? When I read the next question, I am talking about accessing those data set which talks about Park Plaza with amount more than $7,000. Now I'm not looking for all Park Plaza clients, I'm looking for those Park Plaza clients which may have amount more than $7,000. So as of now, let me go to location. Let me tick this select all off. Now I'll have the facility to choose only one, which is Park Plaza. So quite clearly I have the data set as given here. Now what I can see is everyone is more than $7,000. So let me do one thing. Let me change the question. Let me change it to $70,000. $70,000. Alright. Now I do not want this client in my list. I may not want this client in my list. So I apply one more filter, that is amount, number filters, greater than what? $70,000. Okay, clearly those data has been hidden, and now if I press or equal to, that will give me the total of those clients which are falling under Park Plaza building and whose budget exceeds $70,000. So those are dual filters. In fact, you'll notice whenever I apply any filter button, the icon changes. As you can see, the funnel shaped button out here. So let me delete this total, 3.2 million for $70,000, and let me clear this entire thing off. So similarly, you'll have many more multiple options which talks about greater than, less than, equal to. You also have the option of top 10. So if you want to see the top 10 client of yours amongst the entire universe, top 10. Okay, so these are your top 10 clients. Might as well focus on them. Let me clear it once again. So that was Park Plaza, more than $70,000, and we've already focused on subtotal formula, not using sum, max, min, average, but using subtotal, but with the help of the shortcut key alt equal to. Now as we discussed in sort, 2007 has come out with color based filtering as well. Now if you have certain cells which have been colored based on certain parameters, the filter button also allows you to sort by color. So let's say sort by color. Quite easy. Let me clear it. No fill. Let me clear it so that we get back to our original data. Now since we changed the sequence, you'll notice the orange cells will be at the bottom of the database. Let me press Ctrl Z twice, thrice, and we get back to our original arranged data. So that was colored cells as well. But now before we proceed with advanced filter, I will like to talk about a problem which I'll discuss in the next video. The problem is, as of now we asked for Park Plaza more than $70,000. What if I ask for Park Plaza more than $70,000 and Shantiniketan more than $50,000? Okay, you say it is easy. You may go straight to location button, Park Plaza, Shantiniketan chosen both. Now you would say why not go to amount, number filters and say greater than, agreed. Now once you write $70,000 here, this 70,000 benchmark will be applied to both Shantiniketan and Park Plaza. So if you are pressing OK, Shantiniketan $60,000 will not be taken in. If you write $50,000 here, now the problem is this 50,000 benchmark will also be applied to Park Plaza as well. So you are also including those data, $60,000 Park Plaza, which should not have been included. Now you may say, what is the second box for? Why not choose this and write 50,000 here and 70,000 here? Now this does not differentiate that 50,000 talk about Shantiniketan and 70,000 talk about Park Plaza. What if you had one more criteria, APJ house more than $100,000? So clearly this cannot be done with simple filter. What most people do is they first filter Park Plaza, they then get to the number filter of greater than $70,000, then they copy paste this data to a different sheet. After they have done copy pasting the entire data, then they go inside Shantiniketan, then they access those data which are greater than $50,000, which is the benchmark for Shantiniketan, and then they copy paste this data to the same sheet. Now this could be very tedious if you have 10 differential filters. So when we talk about differential filters such as these, I'll be talking about advanced filter. I'll be talking about this advanced filter in the next video. So do give it a try, especially with the subtotal formula, very important in case you are using filter. Color based filtering, something new, and inside the filter button you'll either find text filter or number filter, based on which you can customize your final answer. So see you in next video when we talk about advanced filter.